My girlfriend demanded a designer bag, then turned to blackmail. So, I chose self-respect instead. I'm a 28-year-old software engineer, living a comfortable but modest life. I've always believed relationships should be built on mutual respect and understanding, not material demands. My ex-girlfriend, who I'll call Ginny, seemed to share those values when we first met. She had this warmth about her, a sweetness that made you feel at ease, or at least, that's what I thought. The transformation was so gradual, I barely noticed it happening. It started with small things, a casual mention of a designer purse here, a hint about an expensive restaurant there. I didn't mind treating her occasionally. After all, I wanted to make her happy. But there was always another luxury item on the horizon, another expensive experience she needed to have. I started noticing how her Instagram feed was carefully curated to showcase a lifestyle that didn't match our reality. She'd spend hours positioning herself just right with borrowed items, or in upscale locations where we'd only ordered appetizers. At first I found it amusing, but eventually, it became clear that this wasn't just about taking nice photos. It was about projecting an image of wealth that neither of us actually had. The real warning signs emerged during conversations about our future. While I talked about saving for a house or building an emergency fund, Ginny would steer the discussion toward luxury vacations and high-end furniture. "We only live once," she'd say, dismissing my concerns about financial responsibility. Why save for tomorrow when we can enjoy life today? But everything came to a head last month over a designer handbag. We were having dinner at my place, nothing fancy, just a homemade meal and some wine. Ginny was scrolling through her phone, something she did increasingly often during our time together. "Look at this," she said, thrusting her phone in my face. On the screen was a sleek leather handbag that probably cost more than my monthly rent. "Isn't it absolutely perfect?" I nodded non-committally, hoping to avoid another discussion about expensive purchases. "It's nice," I offered, taking another bite of my pasta. Her eyes narrowed slightly. "Nice? It's not just nice. It's iconic. Every woman dreams of having one of these." She paused, watching me carefully. "It's only $5,000. I nearly choked on my food. "Only $5,000? I set down my fork, trying to keep my voice level. "Ginny, that's not a reasonable purchase for us right now." "Oh, come on," she scoffed. "You make good money. You could afford it if you wanted to." "It's not about whether I could technically afford it," I explained. "That money could go toward our future, investments, savings, or something practical we both need." She rolled her eyes so hard I thought they might get stuck. "God, you're so boring sometimes. Everything doesn't have to be practical. Don't you want to make me happy?" The conversation ended there, but something had shifted. I could feel it in the air between us, like a storm brewing on the horizon. A week later, that storm broke. We were sitting in my living room when Ginny suddenly turned serious. "I need to tell you something," she said, her voice unnaturally calm. "What's up?" I asked, already feeling uneasy. "I know something about you," she said, avoiding eye contact. "Something that could really damage your reputation if people found out." My stomach dropped. "What are you talking about?" She pulled out her phone and showed me a photo from a party we'd attended months ago. In it, I was clearly drunk and appeared to be kissing another guy. I remembered that night. I'd been completely wasted, and so had the other guy. It was an accident, nothing more. "I could tell everyone about this," she said softly. "I could tell them you're actually gay, that you've been cheating on me. Think about what that would do to your career, your friendships." I sat there, stunned into silence. Was she really trying to blackmail me over a handbag? "But," she continued, "if you buy me the bag, I'll forget all about this. Consider it insurance for your reputation." In that moment, everything became crystal clear. This wasn't love. It was extortion dressed up in designer clothes. "Let me get this straight," I said, my voice surprisingly steady despite the anger building inside me. "You're threatening to spread lies about me unless I buy you a $5,000 bag?" "It's not a threat," she backpedaled. though her tone suggested otherwise. I'm just saying I could make things complicated for you. But I don't want to. I just want you to show me you care. Care? I laughed, but there was no humor in it. You think blackmail is a sign of caring? This isn't love, Ginny. This is manipulation. She rolled her eyes again, a gesture I'd once found cute, but now saw as contemptuous. You're being so dramatic. It's just a bag. Why are you making such a big deal out of this? Because it's not just about the bag, I snapped. It's about you trying to control me, to force me into giving you what you want. Do you even hear yourself? Her face hardened. If you really cared about me, this wouldn't be an issue. Maybe I deserve someone who's willing to spoil me. Maybe you do, I agreed, standing up. Because it's not going to be me. That's when her mask completely slipped. You're seriously ending things over this? Wow, I knew you were cheap, but I didn't realize you were this selfish. Selfish? I repeated incredulously. You're trying to blackmail me for a designer bag. And I'm the selfish one? Get real, Ginny. She stood up, arms crossed. Fine. If you want to throw away everything we had over a stupid fight, that's on you. But don't come crawling back when you realize what you've lost. I don't think that'll be a problem, I said, grabbing my keys. We're done. Find someone else to fund your lifestyle. I left her apartment that night, feeling simultaneously angry and relieved. The signs had been there all along, the constant demands, the subtle manipulation, the way she'd make me feel guilty for not meeting her increasingly unreasonable expectations. I'd just been too blind to see them. The aftermath was exactly what you'd expect from someone like Ginny. First came the flood of texts and calls, alternating between sweet talk and guilt trips. I miss you, she'd write, followed hours later by, you're such a coward. You can't even face me after throwing our relationship away. I deserve an apology. When I didn't respond, she escalated. She posted the party photo on social media, spinning a narrative about me cheating on her. But I wasn't about to let her destroy my reputation. I reached out to friends who had been at the party, including the guy in the photo, who was engaged and clearly had no interest in me. They all confirmed my version of events, and the truth quickly came out. Ginny's attempts to control the narrative backfired spectacularly. She tried telling people it was just a harmless joke and that I'd overreacted, but our mutual friends weren't buying it. One friend called me directly to get the real story. That's not the version she's been telling people. They said after hearing my side, you might want to clear the air. Initially, I was hesitant to engage in any drama, but I realized Ginny wasn't just trying to reconcile. She was actively trying to damage my reputation. I decided to take action, sharing screenshots of her threatening texts with close friends who had heard her version of events. The response was overwhelming. People were shocked at her behavior, and many shared similar experiences with her manipulative tendencies. One friend even revealed that Ginny had a history of this behavior in previous relationships. But Ginny wasn't done. One evening she showed up at my apartment unannounced, holding a box of my things and wearing what I assume she thought was a contrite expression. Can we talk? She asked softly. There's nothing to talk about, I replied firmly. I know I messed up, she pleaded. I was stressed and said things I didn't mean. You didn't even give me a chance to explain. Explain what exactly? I asked. How you tried to blackmail me. How you threatened to ruin my reputation. Some things can't be explained away, Ginny. It wasn't blackmail, she protested. I was just frustrated. I didn't know how else to get through to you. Get through to me? I repeated incredulously. You mean manipulate me? That's what this has always been about. You don't care about me. You care about what I can give you. That's not true, she insisted, tears welling up. I love you. No, I said firmly. You love the idea of someone who'll give you everything you want, no matter how unreasonable your demands are. I'm not that person, and I never will be. She left in tears, but I felt stronger than ever in my decision. Over the next few weeks, she tried everything to get back into my life. Long emotional emails, voicemails that ranged from apologetic to angry, even getting mutual friends to plead her case. But I stood firm. The final straw came when I learned she was telling people she only wanted the bag because I had made her feel insecure about her appearance. It was time to end this, once and for all. I reached out to every mutual friend who mattered to me, and shared the complete story, including screenshots of her threats and manipulative messages. The truth spread quickly, and Ginny's carefully constructed narrative crumbled. People began distancing themselves from her, finally seeing through her victim act. One of her former friends even reached out to apologize for initially believing her, revealing that this was a pattern of behavior for Ginny. Months later, Ginny made one final attempt to reconnect, sending a lengthy message claiming she had changed and wanted to make amends. I didn't respond. Some bridges aren't worth rebuilding, and some lessons are best learned by walking away. Looking back now, I'm grateful for the experience. Not because it was pleasant, but because it taught me valuable lessons about self-worth and standing up for myself. Ginny tried to turn love into a transaction, but real love isn't about manipulation or materialism. It's about mutual respect, trust, and valuing each other for who you are, not what you can provide. For anyone out there dealing with someone who tries to use love as a weapon or guilt as currency, remember this: you deserve better. Don't let anyone manipulate you into compromising your values or your self-worth. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do for yourself and for them is to walk away. The experience changed me, but for the better. I'm more aware now of red flags in relationships, more confident in setting boundaries, and more appreciative of genuine connections that don't come with price tags attached. And while I hope Ginny eventually learns from this experience too, that's no longer my concern. I'm focused on building a life where love is measured in respect and understanding, not designer handbags and social media posts.